And hello, ladies and gentlemen, to another scene. Set in darkness in Dublin, a chronicle for Vampire the Masquerade. Tonight, we set our scene within the Grand Ball, the Masquerade. Hosted by Clan Toreador within the club. Newly built, newly opened, newly called Thorns. The host this evening, opening up with a grand speech and a most spectacular introduction as light illuminates the stage and glistens all over the dance floors. We set the scene as pale masked individuals, unknown faces, may be familiar to some, begin to flood into the club. The man who wears a golden mask over his face, over his skull, only doesn't cover his lower face, walks in with a very suggestively clad young woman wearing a rose gold mask and a revealing white dress. Elegantly strutting about the dance floor, making their way through the mortals. And then just enjoying the crowd. How about the individual to my left? Thomas. What is Thomas doing?
Okay, let me think. I guess keeping to the sidelines because I know nobody.
What mask is he wearing?
Shit, I was supposed to wear a mask.
It's not like you were told several days in advance as a masquerade ball.
Just get a paper cut out. It'll be fine.
A man with a golden mask that covers the top side of his face just passes by with these elaborate carvings, and he just does a double take at the guy with a paper cutout of a Venetian mask.
Sure, let's go with that.
Sticky, how about yourself?
There would be an individual who is dressed in rather odd garb. He seems to be dressed in finery, though the color scheme is very odd. One side seems to be purple, of deep shades of purple, while the other side is more crimson red, almost kind of like the outfit of a jester. A black rose pinned to his breast and a rather interesting mask that hides his face.
Okay. And Kim, how about yourself?
Lady will walk in wearing a very intricately carved leather mask and in a black 1920s style dress. She's got tattoos all over her arms and back.
Nice. And Jesse? Jesse. Okay, we'll skip over Jesse for a moment. Oh, there you go.
I muted myself a long time ago.
That's fine.
Anyway, yeah. Alexander, it's been a while since you went to a ball, let alone a party, let alone go in public. It has been a long time. So he feels rather awkward. But he is trying to look for familiar auras. Observing the people from a respective side along the walls, trying to shuffle along the thing that he finds odd at best.
Okay. We can just do that roll right now because we're focused on you.
Right, you want me to roll my awareness then? Let's see.
Perception, empathy if you're scanning auras.
Oh, that one. That must be. Yeah. Oops. I got 2 9s and a 6.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna see kindred auras.
Yep.
Just fine.
And, when he spots those, he feels more comfortable. At least he's not the only. Well, I knew others would be here. Just yeah. And he tries to move closer to them without being conspicuous or trying to hide anything at the same time. You know, trying to seem casual, which is obviously harder for anyone except maybe in Nosferatu. So yeah, that's what he does. He'll try to blend in awkwardly.
Well, Hannah, Katrina, you are with the individual with the skull mask.
No, really, I didn't know that. Katrina walks in, her mask tied tightly around her face, her dress flowing in, not the wind, but her dress is flowing against her body as she's moving through the crowd. She's a few paces behind the gentleman in the skull mask. Her underclothing is also a rose gold to match with the rest of her accents. She does have visible tattoos from the dress. I mean, you can see them through there, and then you can also see the ones that aren't covered by the dress. She's going to see if she knows anybody aside from her escort. So she's going to roll to see if she notices auras of certain people.
I should just kind of Francis roll for that. But as you do so, we have one person left.
As you do, I am wearing a flowing silver gown that sparkles, and it actually looks very fragile and very old. And my mask, it looks almost like a doll's face, and it covers half of my face. And I'm just going to take Thomas's hand and join on the dance floor and be listening out for gossip that is going around the room.
Is everybody?
Katrina
Francis,
notices nothing.
Katrina gets erroneous readings. So Katrina, this botch would matter if Francis hadn't succeeded, but he actually has, so he can tell you when you're wrong. But you probably witness the majority of this dance hall to be filled with kindred. Why, most of them are kindred. There are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of kindred here. Francis sees all the relevant parties. Yes, but the skull mask man will take to the dance floor and will begin lightly dancing with his rose-masked friend. Slowly, with a fair degree of elegance.
It seems someone has taught you how to dance.
A necessary survival mechanism in this place.
One of few necessary traits. Katrina says this as she sways along to the music. She's not moving quickly by any means. She's just like, she's chilling, letting the skull-faced gentleman lead her along.
As he dances, he's eyeing up several of the other auras that he's witnessing. He notices two of them together, and begins drifting as he dances towards those two. He will say to his Rosemask friend, "I spy two friendly faces."
Katrina's going to ask, and who might they be?
He, his neck kind of like shifts in the direction of those two. Shall we approach?
I see no reason not to. After you.
Why, thank you. And as he drifts over, he actually ends up, his eyes twitch slightly because he sees one of them isn't actually wearing in his eyes, a proper mask. They're wearing a paper mask. A
I'm
cutout.
going to.
Um,
I have a purse with me, and I'm going to pull a small black mask out of it and hand it to my sire. You forgot this.
Smart move.
Axe
Save.
worth boots. Axe worth booms.
I just turn away quickly, put the mask on, and shove the paper one inside my pocket. This never happens.
I like the paper mask.
as the skull mask man, they kind of you see that they're kind of dancing and they're slowly heading in your direction. And as he does, he'll twirl the rose masked lady around. And sorry.
Go ahead. You're good.
He was going to say as he kind of twirls her around, he will say to the other two, "Well, my, taking fashionably late to a new extreme, I see." He smiles.
Wouldn't be late if someone could be on time for anything in his life.
Shut it. I am punctually challenged. You know this?
Shut my mouth.
Well, I suppose if there's any time for a domestic dispute, it is on the dance floor. He says, dancing with another random lady.
Might I add, you're both in the appropriate area for a hashing out of sorts.
It's not really a hashing out, it's more of normal occurrence around us.
Yes. Ever since we met, you always nag on what I do, and I always don't listen, etc., etc.
Someone is too hot-headed.
I prefer to think of myself as laid back.
He must be my twin then. Katrina says this with a laugh as she continues to dance along with the skull-faced gentleman.
All right. So, where are we? Bishop, dearest Bishop. Here you are.
Yes.
You will feel a hand wrap around your midsection.
Oh, someone interfering. Okay, excellent. Francis is down. He's currently witness to some sort of weird domestic dispute, and it's really killing the mood.
Oh, can I get context on what's happening?
Crap, I don't know the name of those two characters. Sorry.
Oh, are the Ravnots having another spat, aren't they?
Yes.
Excellent.
Instantly. Right.
But the hand will still wrap itself around your waist, and it will slip, and it will turn you around. And you were looking down into the eyes of this evening's hostess.
Oh God.
And once again, your Auspex can pierce her obfuscate, so you know that fun little pertinent fact.
Yes. Do I need to roll self-control again?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be spending a lot of willpower this evening.
I assume, I hope it's over 5, right?
It is 5.
Oh, wonderful. Then I don't have to roll anything.
I don't need to wish I was dead.
The blessed number 5 when 4 is just all you need.
Well, I didn't actually spend a willpower, Matt, and I got 2 successes, thank God.
You managed to avoid the entrancement, but oh, Nelly, Bishop, pretty.
Yeah, so, Francis just kind of places his hands on her arms.
I merely wish to dance.
What would it be my pleasure?
She lifts she lifts his hand in hers, and she kisses the back of his hand, but she doesn't bend herself. It's not like her, bowing to kiss the hand. She lifts it to her mouth and kisses it.
Yeah.
Before she will lead you out onto the dance floor. I also have one other thing to do. My dear Sarah, how are you doing? You doing good?
We are doing just fine.
All right. Personage, a rather short personage who's only about 5'2", 5'3", wearing this mask. Once again, I should point out, it was really difficult for me to find pictures of people wearing masks, but I found lots of pictures of people with of masks. So I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to use the masks and I will describe the people. A short figure will walk, and he will hold out his hand towards the dear Southern Belle, before he will say in a very polite voice after bowing, "Would you care for this dance, dear lady?"
Don't mind if I do.
Wonderful.
Oh God, yes, please take it. I can't stand it anymore.
The Ravnos domestic disputes. But yeah, he will lead you out onto the dance floor.
I'm just gonna throw Thomas a dirty look.
All right.
I roll my eyes.
Okay.
I will approach the group more silently, looking at those that I do recognize when it comes to their aura. Not knowing any names, obviously.
As Katrina slips away, as the skull-faced gentleman and the hostess begin to dance, she's going to slip back a little bit. She's still moving gracefully. She's just kind of fading back. And she will actually bump into the gentleman in the mirrored mask. And she's going to apologize real quick. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Wait, I know you."
Our apologies is the same way. So as soon as he bumps into him, he actually tries to dodge her, failing obviously, and he will profoundly apologize for touching a lady without permission. And yes, and he does recognize the voice, and he will say, "Well, I'm happy finding you here, ma'am. I hope everything's all right."
It is. Just a little switch and dance partners for the evening. Would you
Do
like to join me?
By all means, please.
And they will
Very much so.
begin to dance around and whatnot.
He will follow her lead. It's been a while since he danced, so memory has to kick in a little bit, but has some experience, not much.
She's going to speak to him in a low voice and say, "Feel free to switch over the lead when you catch up."
Oh, well, yes. It's like I said, I've never danced to these types of music before, so I'll have to follow a younger person's lead. But I'm thank you for the opportunity to at least feel alive again, somewhat.
Hey, Connor. Just a second. Hey, Connor. How's it going?
It's going well. I don't like it when you talk
This
to me
woman.
like that.
I mean, does it make you clench in weird ways? It's fine. This woman will walk up to you from the malaise of the crowd, and she will stroke your face very softly with the back of her hands. The mouth of the mask is very odd. It's almost like it's been sewn shut. But she will lean in, and she presses the lips of the mask to your cheek, wrapping one arm around you. And then she simply turns and withdraws. Connor, you will find a piece of paper in your pocket. As
Lovely.
you open it, it will simply say, "He has agreed to the meeting. Be there tomorrow at midnight."
Connor would just very carefully open up the bottom of his mask, and he's going to slip that paper into his mouth.
Okay. Bishop and Sarah, would you guys like to give me dex performance rolls, please, to see how well you dance?
I don't have performance. I'm going to be using the athletics thing again.
You're a bad Toreador.
I know.
No performance?
Terrible. So I'm going to be using athletics.
You can roll athletics, but it is going to be at a +1 diff.
That's what I like to hear.
So I'm rolling performance and what else? I'm sorry.
Dexterity.
This I will actually spend willpower on, because this is with the hostess.
I think that is 6 dice.
Oh, Jesus. Hang on. Do your 10s double, Bishop?
No, they don't. Actually, I have... No, my special team dex is lightning reflexes. But I got 2 successes, so it's something.
It actually does. Yes.
Wow, that's...
Actually, no, hang on, whoa. Bishop, she failed.
How did she fail? What?
A bad
That's
lead.
really interesting. Okay.
That's
Because look at the one bishop and the amount of successes.
that's this must be the first time in at least 5 centuries.
Wow, indeed. Jesus Christ.
Bishop, what is going to happen is she is not going to have seen the fact that someone has dropped a glass on the dance floor and it is half broken. She steps on it and loses her balance and is about to fall. What do you do?
I'm going to see if I can make it part of the dance so it looks as if nothing actually happened.
Roll me your Dex Athletics difficulty 8.
God.
You have lightning reflexes, does that count?
Yes, I will let that count for doubling 10s.
Okay. I'm spending a lot of willpower tonight. I really don't want to fuck this up. Oh, I actually do get 4 successes on that.
You make it look seamless. You may even make it seem like that was a skillful move and that you are an excellent dancer. When she is done, when the fall is done, when the dance is done, as she lays there in your arms, because it made it look like that was the end of the dance, that she fell and you caught her in that wonderful way with one arm. Bishop, she leans up and kisses you, full on the lips.
I can't deny.
And she holds it for a long 5 seconds.
Oh, shit.
That's fine. Everything is fine.
I'm going to need you to roll entrancement again, Bishop. This time
That's a thank you.
This time it's going to be difficulty 8.
I don't mind. I'm not going to spend willpower because fuck it.
That was a thank you for catching me.
I fail.
Okay. Now, Sarah, I'm also going to need you to roll your dexterity performance because you are also dancing with someone else. I just need to find his dice pool.
That is 6 dice, I believe.
Okay, would you like to roll?
I'm not sure how.
Okay, are you on the Discord?
Yes.
See the roll section?
Yes, I'm in it.
Just copy and paste Bishop's last roll, which was 4d10, difficulty 8, and change the number. So you'll change it to 6d10 with the 8 instead of this, with the 6 instead of the 8.
Okay, so change the 4 to
A 6.
6.
And the 8 to a 6.
And 8 to 6.
Okay.
Hold on.
That's 3 successes. There you go. Oh, wait, no, that was just Bishop's roll. That was odd. Mr. Hennessy is cutting a rug tonight. Jesus Christ.
I kind of knew just when you mentioned the size.
Yeah, you get 3 successes. The two of you twirl and dance very elegantly around the dance floor before you will come to a stop. And the masked figure who is dancing with you will bow very deeply. He will move to kiss your hand, but the mask won't let him, so he will press the mask to the ring finger of your hand, and he will say, "Not only are you an excellent house guest, but you're also an excellent dancer, my dear."
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I do hope that the balls that we have now are not too off-putting compared to what you're used to.
Oh, there will be nothing like the balls back then, but I can deal with this.
All right, and with that, I will move back into the hangout. I shall return shortly. Doodle.
Well, Francis is being fondled by the hostess.
You could be in worse places.
No, this is actually a really good position to be in. So the rest of you, by all means, carpe noctem. Seize the night, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. What are you doing?
Feeling alive and dancing, I suppose. And he feels rather awkward. Nothing about the dance. His partner in dance is perfectly wonderful. It's the fact that it's his first night out in 70 years. That is odd.
I'm just dancing, listening for the gossip. As one does.
Even if you've missed 1,000 nights out, you still feel the pulse of the music. So that one thing that doesn't change. Becomes easier to lose yourself once you think of that. Katrina says this to the mirror-faced gentleman as they continue to dance.
Alexander smiles and says, my apologies, I didn't know it was so obvious.
I have a quick out-of-character question.
Yeah.
Are people doing a classic ballroom dance to techno music?
I have no idea. Is it techno?
Kinda is.
Oh well, I'm guessing they're just fucking ballroom dancing or just like swaying along with the underlying pulse of it.
Alexander actually isn't doing that. He's trying to copy other people. That's why.
Okay, well then let's go with that. That sounds more in place. Okay, they're swaying along trying to dance slightly modern.
I like to imagine it's a weird hybrid type dance.
It is, because the references to words where dance was usually from is quite odd. So yeah, it will look awkward, it will look odd, but then again, can you really dance at techno? So yeah.
You can bounce.
Also out of character, I didn't listen to any of the like posts about like what the music was, so I'm just chilling. They're dancing. I don't know what kind.
I'm dancing.
Well, the reference that was posted is called Dark Cyber Goth Mix.
Gesundheit.
It's very clubby. Luckily for Connor, dancing has always been a spectator sport for him.
And there was really only one way that Kate knows how to dance, and it was way before this time.
So Connor is going to continue socializing around the edges.
Well, and hybrid dance, nonetheless. Alexander does try to do his absolute best, what he does at the moment, which is dancing. He will feel incredibly awkward, but he'll try to do his awkward dance to perfection.
Katrina's going to attempt to just go. She's gonna go along with it, and she's hoping that in doing so, it's helping him loosen up because it's almost palpable how awkward this gentleman feels.
But yes, he will also look, he can't help it, at the hostess, obviously, and the other people that he's noticed now that have connected with those who knows are kindred. And yeah, he tries to be observant while he dances. Or moves.
That actually sounds really smart. Let Katrina do the same thing. Like as
This
they're
one.
moving around, they have their eyes not necessarily on each other or on each other's masks. They're just like kind of scanning the room and seeing how everything's going.
Is Kate hearing anything interesting of note on the dance floor? Any talk?
It's probably for you, Bishop.
Son, pardon, sorry. What's going on?
He was asking gossipy input.
Yes, I'm wondering if there's anything interesting that Kate is hearing on the dance floor that might be of note.
I don't think from Skullmask Guy and the hostess. But you may be hearing. You may be hearing gossip from the other kindred and the other hangout. Maybe from them. But on the dance floor, I mean, it's loud. There's probably a lot of people talking. There's a lot of music. You're actually probably risking overstimulation, enhancing your hearing here.
I would not advise doing that.
You're probably at risk of overstimulation because it's like a club with tons of people, loud music, and a lot of people moving around. So you're probably at a higher chance of being deafened than actually being able to pinpoint anything relevant.
After a few numbers, Katrina will nod to Alexander or the mirror-based gentleman. She'll nod to him, and then she will step back along to the walls and just hang out for a bit and rest. Because I mean, I don't know how long they've been dancing at this point.
Alexander, of course, gentlemanlike, will give the lady the room to choose her dance and choose her partner and choose her time. And as she leaves, he'll make a deep bow of respect, and leave it to be wherever she needs to be.
Alrighty, what's Connor doing all this? Who knows? Maybe over here, Connor.
Connor is primarily sticking by the corners, watching the other people dance awkwardly for his own amusement, and he's also socializing with those that aren't partaking in the dance itself. So he's just talking to people, if that's even possible. Usually along the lines of that awkward club thing where you lean over and you're basically shouting to the other person.
Just gonna PM Evan to see if I'm still entranced until he gets back, because otherwise I'm just gonna kind of be sitting here for a while.
I'm going to notice that Thomas isn't standing where he was before, and I'm going to quietly slip away to see if I can go find him.
What timing?
Hi, yes, sorry, router overheated.
Thomas,
Alexander,
your
sorry,
dance partner has returned to you.
Yes.
I was just saying your time of arrival is impeccable.
Yeah, it really is.
I have been
They're
looking
rather
everywhere for
overheated.
you.
I needed some air.
Some air, really, from me.
Yes.
Alexander will simply smile, thinking it's very odd that somebody would eat air that doesn't breathe. But he doesn't say anything.
So, what trouble did you get up to when I was gone?
I've just been dancing.
You never not do anything.
Just dancing, I promise you.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to introduce me to your friend, or?
Not here, not tonight.
All right, then.
Yes, everybody is dancing and talking. That man, Skullmaster, would be all over this right now, but I think he's preoccupied with the hostess. And I'm trying to find out if I have the freedom to talk to other people right now.
This is very unfortunate.
It is. The social nucleus of the scene may have been stolen, and I'm trying to rescue him.
Yes. Well.
I'm actually gonna double check. It's appearing. He's appearing offline to me, but I don't think that's actually true.
Katrina will stand from her spot along the walls and go and meet with the pair that she danced alongside earlier, and she'll say hello to them and see if they're up for a chat, really.
I guess Adriana will be wandering around with what looks to be a wine glass.
Katrina's going to ask if the pair are enjoying the ball.
I know I am.
The dress is absolutely beautiful.
Why, thank you very much. Yours is as well.
Thank you. Is yours an original?
Oh, yes, it was made in about 1913, I believe.
That's incredible. The stitching is wonderful.
Why, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Host is going to make an executive decision and going to assume that he's out of entrancement at this point because Jesus Christ. And I've just gotten confirmation. So yes, Skullmask guy begins heading back towards the party, and his former dance partner, who's now grouped up with several individuals.
All right, kids. So from across the room, you guys will observe at the bar a physical altercation. I'm saying that because it happened in the other room, and you guys will observe it. At the bar, you will see several individuals dressed in black suits and very ordinary masks, and then you will see an individual dressed in a much more expensive suit with this particular mask that I have shown, who is clearly the prince wearing a mask. You will also see there's a new face, a new one who basically. A new kindred who none of you know, and you basically see him walk towards the prince. He attempts to strike up conversation with the prince's bodyguards. The prince addresses him for a few seconds. If any of you are looking at the prince's aura, it flares with disgust.
Mm-hmm.
Then the guy attempts to walk away from the prince, turning his back on him. At which point, one of the bouncers or one of the guards grabs his suit by the neckline and rips it down. And for the record, for all of you Toreador, that was an expensive suit. There was sadness that thing ripped.
Yes.
Then he is manhandled back in front of the prince, with the bouncer putting a hand on the back of his neck and on the back of his head. There's a conversation before he is physically thrown at the feet of the Toreador Primogen, and the prince basically points for them to get away from him.
This is the perfect time to introduce myself to the prince. Where's my sire be?
I like this man's style.
But yes, needless to say, for all of the Toreador, a very expensive suit died that day.
Can I all see who does and does not cringe on the ripping of the suit?
As we said in the other scene, every Toreador takes a point of unsoakable lethal damage to the eyes. It's fine.
I'm having to hold myself back for different reasons.
Are any mortals around to see this, or is this just
what? That somebody got their ass beaten?
Yeah. It's like, is there a bunch of mortals in this room and stuff? That's cool.
Almost everyone in this room is a mortal. Literally, there are maybe one kindred for every 10 people.
Excellent.
Though all of the people seem like they're in a trance.
Awesome.
I wonder what was
like unless they're dancing, like they're being openly fed on, and people just don't seem to notice.
Neat.
Handy.
I mean, yeah, it is. But hey, Kim, you can totally go and introduce yourself to the prince.
Where my sire be?
Where is your sire? Hang on, let me find a mask for your sire. If it helps, Evan now has a vast collection of things that are just masks. I have a vast collection of pictures of masks. Your sire is going to be wearing this mask. Because I like the checkerboard. Look at it be a checkerboard. All right, so he will loop his arm with yours, and the two of you will walk towards the prince. He will bow very respectfully about 10 feet away from him, and he makes sure that you bow as well because the arms are linked.
Oh yeah.
And he won't actually say anything. He will reach into the fold of his coat, and he will withdraw a letter, a very small letter, roughly about the size of the palm of your hand, and he will hand it to the prince, or he'll hand it to one of the prince's bodyguards, who will flick it open, open the letter itself. They don't read it, but from an out of character perspective, letter bombs are a thing. Yeah, everything seems to be agreeable. They hand the piece of paper to the prince. The prince scans it for a few moments under the mask. You can see his eyes moving. He then gestures for you to step forward with a single finger.
She will do so.
What is your name?
Adriana Ramirez.
I see. And you are a member in good standing of the Camarilla.
Yes, sir.
Where were you embraced?
Oh god, I haven't decided that out of character. Along the current day Mexico-California border.
Your sire here said that you are an individual who may be of use to this domain. Do you believe that you may be of use to this domain?
Without a doubt.
And you are a member of Clan Tremere.
Yes, sir.
We can always use more warlocks, I suppose. Very well. I, Prince Justin Thrain, I will apologize to the hostess later for breaching the protocol of her rules. Do hereby welcome you to the domain of Dublin with all the rights and responsibilities that entails.
She will give him a very deep and respectful bow.
Next, he will gesture. He's gonna beckon a Francis with another finger, like, "Come here, Francis. Come here."
Francis is just about to head back to the group, but now the prince demands his attention. He's ever so sorry he'll have to leave you for 5 more minutes. I know, tragic, but yeah, he goes over to the prince.
So, how do you rate this evening's festivities?
Francis, Francis stopped because obviously his perspective is quite odd. He will say, once in a millennium. Although, and he'll kind of casually gesture to the kind of the area where the confrontation took place. That incident rather put a downer on it. A shame, but
What incident?
he was gesturing to where the guy got his suit torn apart.
Oh, the prince knows.
There was no incident, Mr. No, he doesn't call you by your name. There was no incident. There was merely a correction in manners.
Oh, fantastic! Then this evening remains perfect.
One of your clan should know better, Sheriff. Breaking the rules of the hostess in her own establishment was lamentable.
May I dare ask who was responsible for such a regrettable breach of protocol?
I don't know. He is a member of your clan and is currently being shepherded like a pup by your primogen.
I see. Well, I'll make sure to leverage the appropriate punishments and corrections.
I have no doubt. He is also going to have summoned, as Francis, you can stay where you are. He is also going to have summoned our 2 Ravnos friends. Hi, Ravnos friends.
How do you do?
But the prince will have you both summoned over, and he will look you up and down, and he will say, "You are the 2 individuals who were found skulking in Mr. Hennessy's warehouse, yes?"
Well, yes, I do believe so.
Francis, when was the last time you saw Ravnos face to face? I thought they were extinct.
It's been many years, admittedly. I too thought they had been wiped out. Although there's always rumors.
Well, you see, we've been out of commission for quite a while, it seems.
Yet here 2 stand before us, and one of them, he will take, he'll take her hand in his, is rather lovely, I must admit.
I'm just gonna blush and kind of look down at the ground.
It actually costs you a blood point to blush, fun fact.
Oh, never mind.
If you could, you would.
If I could. I'm just gonna look at the ground then.
But no, he will look at her now and he will say, But yes, very rare indeed. Not since the week of nightmares. That was an altogether unpleasant experience.
So I've heard.
Where were you during the week of nightmares, Sheriff?
Francis thinks for a moment, because this takes him back, it's like all the way to the year 2000 or 1998.
I think it's 1998 that it
Yeah, it
happened.
takes him back over 20 years. So, where would he have been during that time? He would have probably been, let's see. I want to say Paris. He was probably somewhere. Actually, yeah, I know where Francis was. You know, I actually recall being in Athens at that point of time. It was during one of my travels through Europe. Yes, that was a very interesting week. I recall there were several rather spectacular breaches of the masquerade involving Ravnos at that time.
Yes, I was. The prince kind of contemplates for a moment. He says, "Yes, I was commanding during our attempted retake of Montreal. That did not end well, but needless to say. And you're quite correct. We had to spend more of our time putting down Ravnos who'd gone rabid than we did actually fighting the Sabbat."
Rabid, you say?
Yes. I remember there are several bloodhounds called. Needless to say, I did as duty dictates.
When you have an entity who can literally make you feel figuratively and mentally as though you were fighting a dragon, it is rather disconcerting.
Yes, it did incentivize the development of one of my particular clan gifts.
But you were both welcome in the domain. The Ravnos had until that point, I mean, they were vagrants and tricksters, but they were useful. I always have a value for things that are useful.
I assure you, we will be very useful to you.
I would take offense at the vagrant description if I did not know it was true.
What the domain can grant either of you? Do you require your own domains, jobs, things of that nature?
Yes.
Yes.
Or at least like something to make use of my time when I'm not otherwise occupied.
Well, what was your profession before you were here?
Let's see. I work for the East India Trading Company.
I remember that. That was a blast from the past.
Yes, that's why I was in India when I died.
Congratulations.
Yes, while we're at it, do you think you could find out what happened to my sire?
Well, if a week of nightmares is an indication, they're probably dead.
Shame. I actually like them.
You have my condolences. Assuming, of course, they kept to the traditions, in which case, likely not. But I digress.
But yes, before the whole however long power nap, I was a soldier, mostly.
Oh!
That's how we met.
Oh, were you a soldier too?
No, we met in a bar.
Oh.
In a pub. But I met him when he was still in combat.
Oh, what did you do?
Needless to say, this has been a fascinating conversation. However, I really should go and give my attentions to the hostess. It has been a pleasure to meet both of you. I will grant you each domains within Dublin City. I'll have Hennessy see to it tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow evening, rather.
Thank you very much. And I'm just gonna bow.
I just nod my head at the same time.
Very good. I guess Evan is going to go to the other hangout.
You get tapped. You both get tapped on the arm by Francis, and he goes, "Ah, useful. You're useful. That's a compliment."
I assure you, we know that we are useful. I promise you we will be.
So how did you two meet? So you met him in a bar, but what did you do prior?
I was visiting my brother, and I was taken for a night out on the town to tour the city. And that's when I met him. And it was all downhill from there.
Sorry. Adriana actually left.
Lady Ramirez, yes?
Technically speaking, but I think that's currently against the rules.
Yes. You have lost. But also retract my statement. I did not say it.
I did not hear it.
There you go. But I do know your regions.
I'm sure. People.
Oh no,
Sure you
she
do.
is a lady of great talent and merit. I think you'll enjoy her presence very much.
If you don't mind, I think Tommy and I would like to join the dance floor again.
By all means, allow me to leave you to it. For I would love to talk to you later this evening, if I could be permitted.
Of course.
Absolutely wonderful. Fantastic. In which case, have a lovely dance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What is the sort of mask Adriana's wearing again?
She is wearing a custom carved leather mask.
Hard to make a name out of that. In which case, now that you're alone, may I invite you back to a little entourage I seem to have joined up with? It appears we're all forming a little cluster together.
I don't see why I wouldn't join you. She picks up another quote unquote wine glass from the table. Lead the way.
Onwards we go. Gotta know people to be people. And he'll just head back towards the rest of the group. So he'll be heading back to Katrina, Rothschild, and is Connor there?
Yeah, Connor is there apparently now.
Okay, neat. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may introduce to you a new guest of ours. A new mask among the Grand Ball.
Adriana will slightly raise her glass.
Then she will get a profound nod of acknowledgement. And, well, since I don't have a glass, I will raise a hand to you.
Is he miming having a glass?
Well, point I don't have a glass, but I do want to make a gesture, but I'm not using two fingers like I'm holding a glass. Anyway, going on.
My dear Lady Rose, my sincere apologies for being away from you for so long. He says that to Katrina.
Katrina's not even there.
Where's Katrina gone?
I put it in the sidebar. She's over at the non-fight side of the bar, drinking
Never
wine,
mind
not
then.
wine, fucking fresh blood.
In which case,
She's on her third glass, sipping along of that. She's like away from the thick of the crowd. She's like, I'm bored.
That's where Connor is.
Then at this moment, I am all by myself.
oh well, apparently we're not a cluster.
Technically, well, since I'm a Malkavian, I'm not by myself, but you can't see those people.
It appears my beautiful atomic metaphor has fallen apart.
It was a solid attempt.
Does Katrina just say that as she's walking back?
No, I said that.
Allow me to go fetch the runaway electrons. He will go fetch Katrina and Connor.
The keeper will then stay right where he is.
Yeah, Connor, Katrina, you feel, I assume you're close enough that Francis could just put his hands on both your shoulders.
That'll work.
My lady, my gentleman, I have a new face to introduce to you all, if you'd be happy.
Lovely. I love meeting new faces.
Oh, she is a lovely new face. Beautiful mask. Much more so than that one gentleman over there who had a cardboard cutout. Was atrocious, but I digress.
If she's wearing a mask, how can you be so confident it's a beautiful face?
Let's just say I was given a hint.
Sounds like an appropriate question.
It was a very appropriate question, and I gave it a very appropriate answer.
If you're
Connor is
talking
smiling,
about
but nobody
me, the
can
mask
tell.
is only covering half my face.
Who's that one?
Oh, out of character, Katrina doesn't hate you. She's just bitter. To the girl with the half mask. Katrina doesn't hate anybody. She's just a bitter bitch.
She's a salt. Her aura just reads as salty. Right
Salt
now.
mine.
Yeah, salt
Yeah.
mine.
Trust me. I'm used to that kind.
Himalayan sea salt. I mean, she's that fancy salt, but she's still salty.
You
Alright.
cast off, actually just see Siberia. Good lord.
Let us go then. He'll take Katrina's hand and he even rather comically attempt to take Connor's arm.
That works. He will play along.
Katrina will begrudgingly follow.
So
I do like the arms of a strong gentleman.
all this mess of a comedy is going on. Adriana will turn to the gentleman next to her. So Clem Malkavian, right? Testicalism. Rip. Okay.
No.
The Malkavian doesn't know if you're real or not.
Actually, did he state he was Malkavian?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yes. Well, that awkward silence occurs. You hear snapping in the air as if to draw everybody's attention. My good Jack and my good Rose. Our new guest, as he gestures and bows before the lady in the custom carved leather mask.
It is only like half a mask. She is wearing black lipstick and what you can perceive to be red glitter in the lipstick. And she smiles very widely and her fangs are showing.
Ah.
Her
Will this be
fangs?
the new will this be the queen to our new suit?
Wait, what? I didn't hear you.
Will this be the queen to our new suit?
I don't know. Are you diamonds, hearts, spades, or clubs? Aha, I'm funny. I'm not. I apologize.
Depends on how the other queens feel. And she'll look over to the other ladies.
Katrina will extend her hand to the young woman and say, "Pleasure to meet you, dear."
She'll take it and shake her hand. You as well.
Ah, what an interesting position we find ourselves in. Actually, the skull mask guy will take the guy in the skull mask will take a seat. Keep flipping forth, back and forth between his actual name and skull mask. I'm just going to start calling it Francis. It's easier. Francis takes a seat. So, how to make introductions without giving away our names?
Perhaps by exchanging phone numbers and contacting tomorrow. She'll say, looking at the lady in rose gold.
What was it you said to her?
She's, the guy in the skull mask was like, how can we talk to each other and know each other's names? And Adriana suggested while staring at the lady in the rose gold, saying, maybe by exchanging phone numbers and contacting tomorrow.
That sounds horribly parallel to the youth of today.
Seems appropriate if we want to eventually figure out who we spoke to. Katrina will give her name and number on a slip of paper to the new lady.
Thank you very much. And she'll add the contact information into her phone.
You're welcome. Oh, God.
I'll get your number from your primogen, and he'll wink at Adriana.
Bishop, are you European again?
No,
Okay.
he's actually just he's just saying like, hey, look, I know you're Primogen.
Okay.
Kind of would exchange numbers, but his phone blew up.
You could have bought a new phone by now.
I've got burners for this express purpose. I've learned over the past few centuries. Over the past
Connor,
century.
yeah, we'll start with Connor. Connor, you feel a tug on your arm, like on your coat, like tug, 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 tug.
Connor shall look over his shoulder to see the source of the tugging.
You see the individual pictured. Holy shit balls! Okay, that's going to be today. You see the individual on my screen pictured. You can't see an inch of his flesh, but he has a graphics tablet in his hand, and he holds it up and he turns it around. On his screen, there is a 10 successes sketch of Connor that he's put on, that he's rendered onto the screen.
Jesus Christ.
I am in awe. If possible, I'd love to have this piece.
I can have it prepared and given to you.
That'd be much appreciated.
Connor and I think hang on. Connor alone, I think. Bishop, were you in the scene where they did the dissection?
The dissection of...
The Pentex employee.
Oh, absolutely not that.
Okay. Yeah, no, in that case, Connor, I think you're the only one here who would immediately recognize who this person is.
I mean, I already did immediately recognize who this person was.
I think I might know. His voice sounds familiar.
Who do you think it is, Bishop?
Enigma?
No, it is another Nosferatu.
Yeah,
It's Hennessy's childer named Sketcher.
fair enough. I'm wrong.
That's because he sketches.
I wasn't going to say his name because I forgot.
It's fine. A lot of the Nosferatu have nicknames, except for Abdul, because Abdul needs no nickname. Abdul.
I love Abdul.
But he walks next over to Francis, and he holds up a sketch of Francis. This particular one has 8 successes.
Oof. What's this of?
Beg your pardon?
Is this of me?
Yes. More aptly, it's you in all of your costumes for the evening.
Neat.
Is that how you greet it in character? Just neat?
No. Francis, he kind of like, his fingers kind of touch the rims of the tablet, and he says, "Why, if I may say so myself, you have quite the talent there, sir."
Thank you. This is why the hostess asked me to capture some of you this evening, so that she'd forever have a memory of this night.
Well, if I may say, you have caught the moment quite well. If it would be possible for me to procure a copy of it at some point, I would be most honored.
I'm happy to do so. Bishop, something clicks in your head. Something really weird clicks in your head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like his artistic talent is amazing, but the Toreador owner got a Nosferatu to do this rather than getting a Toreador to do this.
Awkward.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, you have no idea. You could ask.
Another thing for Katrina to be bitter over.
I think I'll ask the hostess at some point when I get a private word with her. And goddammit, Katrina, stop being so salty.
Wow, he is never going to show the sketch he did of Katrina because it's actually shit.
Yeah, another thing
And
for Katrina.
she would love to rip this little one to shreds at the moment. Only internally, though, as she is holding herself together very politely.
I feel drawn to point out, though, you guys will notice, because several of you have guessed that one of the masked figures is Hennessy. You will notice that as Sketcher potters around, because that's what he's doing, he's literally just walking around drawing people. And by the way, for the record, you'll notice he's drawing with preternatural speed. Like, there's a very specific combo discipline he is using to draw this quickly.
Oh, that one.
Celerity?
Yeah, that one.
Nice.
No. There's a celerity and aspect combo discipline you can get that basically makes it so you can do things incredibly quickly. So he's producing these sketches at about the rate of 1 a minute.
And still this amount of damn successes? Jesus Christ.
Next he is going to actually, Jesse, you're up next on his drawing list. Okay, that one's much better. That is 8 successes as he walks up to Mr. Rothschild and basically holds up his sketch pad.
Rothschild, if he is allowed, we'll definitely take the paper and observe it more closely with the eye of a fellow drawer, so to speak.
It's not. It's not. By the way, definitely, I'll let you buy that combo discipline. It's a Dark Ages combo discipline, but it's amazing if you're playing a character who makes things or draws things. But for the record, it's not actually on a piece of paper. It's on it's on a graphics tablet. But yes, you can pick it. He'll let you pick it up.
He'll judge it with the eye of someone who actually knows how to draw, and he tries to find the odd things because you judge it on how well it's done. Since this is not normally his cup of tea, he will smile and nod and appreciate it for what it's worth. How many successes did you say it was?
8.
8. Then he will appreciate it very much and say, "I hope that your connections when it comes to art goes further than sketches, because I would like to make you a proposition at some point when the new modern arts museum is happening. I would love you to design a part of our folder, maybe show a certain touch of modernity."
I'm pleased to do so. At the moment, I'm technically 3 artists. Well, 3 artists whose work hangs in galleries, but I do it under various different pseudonyms.
Rothschild nods and said, "Well, I hope if you are allowed, we should have more talk. Myself will be working more closely with your family, and I hope to talk to you again sometime. Maybe you can show me that very very elaborate way of sketching. The speed is astonishing."
Thank you. I developed it over a number of years of practice, but I'm led to. Yeah, if you want, I'll happily teach you.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. And then, yeah, he'll give back the sketch, obviously.
You are immediately reminded, Connor, of, and this was the guy who some fuckwit decided to give a pamphlet about for speech lessons.
Oh, I remember. I remember very clearly.
I will point out, as I think I may have mentioned, you guys will notice the fact that you will see the entity that you're pretty sure is Hennessy watching everything like a hawk. Because I'm pretty sure that if you were to upset Sketcher, you would have a very short, very sad future.
Just that idea. But no, Rothschilds are actually very polite. He will be, being I wouldn't call himself an artist, but he does know which way around a pencil.
I wish
Next up
Hennessy was my dad.
Best dad ever. Next up is going to be Kim. He will walk up to Adriana and he will present her with her sketch, which is 6 successes worth of sketch.
I got a quick question. Is this a kid?
Everyone's asked me that. No, he doesn't appear to be a child. As a matter of fact, for Connor, who's actually seen him without his mask on, he's definitely not a kid, but he's not much older than 18, and he's very, very socially inept.
Sure as hell couldn't be a Toreador then.
Adriana's response is going to be, "Oh, this is absolutely gorgeous."
Thank you. I'm very pleased that you like it.
Yes, go ahead and put me on that list for those copies.
I'd be delighted to. Thank you very much. And he will proceed to toddle off into the wider party. And with that, oh, hi Saskia, make a fucking vampire.
Hi Saskia, make a fucking vampire. I have to translate.
Working on it. Stop.
Hey.
I mean, how else are you gonna play with Bishop?
Yeah.
Look at Bishop.
Yeah.
Bishop wants to play with you as well.
Everybody wants to play with me. Oh la la.
But all right, guys. So what's going to happen now? And I'm going to hop into the other hangout, and I'm going to say, we are going to do our second big set piece event of the evening. So there will be another live link posted in the Google Hangout in a few minutes. If you can all please watch that. You can keep this Hangout going, obviously. Please don't end it. But there's going to be another big set piece, and then something else will happen. When that happens, play will just continue, and we'll go from there. Everyone okay with that?
All right.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Please don't kill me. Good luck.
So, I think I've got half of you sussed out, but I don't believe we've met. I don't recognize your voice. He kind of gestures towards Rothschild.
That is correct, my sheriff.
Aha! But you know me.
Of
Well
course.
played.
I would be a fool not to know you, sir.
To be fair, your name does get far, though I dare not speak it within these halls.
You know, I'm rather flattered.
But yes, if I could, I would properly introduce myself, shake your hand, and let you gaze upon me. However, mask prevents such things. You're welcome, however, to my humble abode, if you ever so choose to. I've only recently been revealed to our prince and have been given a task quite heavy upon my shoulders, which of course I think in the future we would have talks about, because the concern of the safety of our people can be always advised upon.
How could I have forgotten? We absolutely met each other. Meeting just a few minutes ago. Oh, I feel so woefully guilty. My sincerest apologies.
Don't worry, I'm just new. I do understand that people with your agenda can't keep track of everything. I'm just a new face, I suppose.
Yes, a free front war does cause these things. Unfortunate, but alas.
Considering the new tasks I've been giving up on the first task, we will have to talk about certain street areas.
Oh yes, that'll be quite interesting. Actually, maybe I'll help you there.
I'm already sending out a preliminary group to give me information I might not find elsewhere. However, let's not talk business. I must say that I very much appreciate your very artsy mask.
I would have to thank my friend here. He wraps his arm around Katrina. Was it her suggestion?
Well, then the lady has excellent taste. I would, however, wish to have a word with your Primogen. I've been trying to get a hold of her, but have been missing ever again. It does concern the museum, of course, and your vast number of artists within your line, those who appreciate true beauty and such.
I must say I'm very intrigued by this museum.
It's going to be a museum of modern arts and our new Elysium when it's done. All for the greater glory of our prince and the kindred within this city.
I cannot wait to see it.
I do enjoy the finer arts myself, though I'm not really one with pencils. I'm better with a hammer and chisel, personally.
That might come in handy. I am looking forward to having a small garden where we might host a outside party that could use some hammer and chisel if you would want to showcase your talent.
I'd greatly appreciate it. I haven't had a chance to practice my art in a while. Lots of travel.
I am able to give you a room in which of not a location. What I mean is some time to work on your skills before you're presented our final piece, because those final pieces will of course be presented by our prince, and he will make his own personal selection, obviously. But if you are willing to submit to the judgment of our prince, then by all means I am able to lend you or give you funds in order to get you the right materials to start up that which you like to design.
Heads up, the chat's up.
Would that be something we could agree on?
That would be greatly appreciated. And if I were to be selected by the prince, well, the honor would know no bounds.
I'm glad you feel the same way that I do. We will, of course, talk later, face to face instead of mask to mask, obviously.
My apologies for the interruption, but I believe the spotlight has turned, ladies and gentlemen. See, now got them started and I'm salty now. Francis gets cozy with Katrina. Tries to make her less salty.
Try to balance it out of some of his sweetness.
Now look at me paying attention to you, huh?
Katrina's gonna say to him, "It's gonna take a little more than that," and just continue paying attention to the center stage. I'm guessing whatever this is turned to.
Francis just kind of smiles.
Oh, here we go.
That's right.
What is?
Francis is in trance.
I just heard the mirror began to ripple and I had like a Vietnam flashback.
Francis reasonably should. But it was just so beautiful. Yeah, the sheriff is clearly taken by this performance in a way that is extremely obvious.
I'm just gonna clap. Just
Is there an option for as soon as the mirror began to ripple, Katrina to have like walked away and flipped outside?
No, you're attached to Francis. Stay here.
Huh?
You're attached to Francis. Stay here.
She's not attached to him.
Okay, you can do that if you want. Why?
She's not glued to him.
Not yet.
Yeah, wait for it. My God.
Yeah, she's gonna slip out before that happens.
Oh God, he's walking towards us. So I just played being in trance for that entire performance as he was like, my God.
A Rothschild not in trance, certainly impressed.
213 years I have waited for a moment like this.
The figure will walk towards Francis with an air of absolute authority and surety. He will put both of his hands on his face as he looks down. How tall is Francis?
Francis is actually, he's like 5'8.5". So he's fairly tall.
5'8.5" is short, Bishop.
That's like,
Thank you.
that's not.
Yeah, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
That's
5'5" is short.
I mean,
No,
the average height of the man nowadays is about 5'9".
Exactly, and I'm 5'10" in real life.
So don't worry, you're not at all small. You're just average. Not
yeah.
not us, but
Oh, I didn't know. I got
This
it.
figure is about 6'1".
Oh
So
yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm
Poor
fine.
little Francis is like
he
slightly
looks
below average.
he will look down at Francis before he will do the very French thing of kissing both of his cheeks.
Francis loves this so much. This guy's the best. Francis
My
embraces the moment.
Bonjour, my darling grandchild.
I have a beatific grandsire. Unexpected and beautiful surprise.
Hey Francis, what's your aura like?
Oh, like Jesus. I mean, he was just recently entranced by the performance, so it's a little bit. Let me get up the book real quick.
Good, because I'm watching you.
You're gonna give me colors, aren't you?
I'm gonna give you colors. That's right, bitch.
And everyone in this room take 20 ag damage. I'm gonna move to the room.
Evan just leaves the hangout. I'm just gonna stay in the other hangout for the rest of the night. Alright, one sec. Let me find. Okay. it just automatically takes me to that page now, which I love. It's let's see. There are let's see. The most prominent shade is these are all pale shades, but the most prominent is vermilion. Just very. It's everywhere. It's sharp and flickering. It kind of spikes out, mixed in with fainter pinpricks of deep red, blue, and green, because he was recently entranced.
My. Aren't you going to introduce me? He will say, turning to the other kindred who are surrounding Francis.
according to the rules of the lady, and she'll point at the host, that wouldn't be allowed.
My. How very interesting. Very well then. I will accept this, as it is my dear hostess's request. But needless to say, grandchilder, I am proud of what you have made of yourself here.
I'm very pleased you think so.
I have been following your exploits with some, how would you say, deep thought. You may represent the best of our bloodline.
Francis takes a moment to think on that because he knows that because he sucks it up, that's an odd thing for his grandsire to say. Well, when the standard is high, the best is only acceptable.
Indeed. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, or he will say with a very slight inclination of the head. I trust that you are all having a pleasant evening.
Mr. Rothschild will of course nod and say, "Thank you and well wishes upon yourself, sir."
The evening was
If anyone wants to roll vampire lore, because his mask doesn't hide his features, you can try and guess who he is.
All right.
I shall do that.
Oh my god.
It's actually pretty low diff considering his state.
Int lore?
Intelligence vampire lore.
Yes,
Oh, goody.
or Camarilla lore.
We decided to strip that out as a thing.
Oh, no Camarilla lore now?
Yeah, no, because vampire lore is basically Camarilla lore, Sabbat lore is its own thing.
Nope. Well, nope, no successes.
Does book learning apply?
Book learning will apply.
7 dice, no successes. What the fuck? Discord hates me.
I believe that's one success.
At least you didn't botch.
I still got a single one.
Realistically, you only need one success to identify him. His name is Francois Vallon. He is Prince of Paris.
Of Paris. God damn it. I don't recognize the Prince of Paris. Fuck my life.
He looks down at Francis and he squeezes his shoulder and he says, I intend to stay in the city for a few days before I return to Paris. I should hope that you and I would have the opportunity to have a conversation then. Before then, rather.
It's a priority. Yeah, I wouldn't miss such a thing for the world.
My darling Portia has said that you are indeed worthy of responsibilities that may need to be placed on your shoulders for the benefits of us all. So I shall think that she has an excellent judge of character. I shall think she is an excellent judge of character.
I wouldn't doubt it, but then I'm clearly biased.
Yes. Well, in that case, Madame de Monsieur, I shall bid you all good evening. I should more than likely mingle, as it were. This is, after all, a party.
Very true. And yeah, Francis will just say au revoir to his grandsire, and wish him and say good evening to him in French, because of course.
Adriana is going to turn what was uninterested eyes, now very interested eyes, toward Francis.
I was unaware that you came from such rich blood.
The Prince
Yes,
of
it is
Paris.
true. I am blessed with quite the lineage.
Now you're making
That
me
is an
question whether or not I've
awfully-
been addressing you correctly. Should I
that
start
is
calling
an-
you Your Highness from now on?
I can't say I'd mind.
Sorry, I keep
Yes.
cutting you off.
Adriana says, that is an awfully big shadow to step out of.
I think you'd find a lot can be done with a shadow.
I wouldn't know if you would want to step out of that shadow.
Oh, but if my clan is not made to stand out, then what is it made to do?
You make a good point.
But yes, I can't linger in my grandsire shadow. Why? I wouldn't have been worth the embrace if I did. Not to say the task was easy, as you imply, but it is a matter of must rather than want.
I'm sure if there was any individual capable of making their own path, it would be you, Francis. Oh, my bad, slip of the tongue.
I think I'll come to forgive you.
I shall work hard for that forgiveness.
I look forward to seeing what Fowl comes up with. He smiles somewhat deviously towards Connor.
Kind of returns the smile, though you wouldn't see it. Though you can probably get the impression that he is.
But I have to say, that was a most magnificent surprise.
I feel like after witnessing that, like, every other conversation we could possibly have is going to be a little bit disappointing. Or at least at the minimum, underwhelming.
Then perhaps we should not stray too far from the topic at hand. So, I hesitate to ask because I believe it may be something of a moot point and a foolish question. But have any of you ever been so lucky as to witness a performance like that before? If so, please point me in the right direction. I'd love to see it.
I wish I could.
Glad to believe that was too long ago and the person too far gone.
I have my own things I'd compare it to, though I doubt it would interest you, Francis.
Oh, please.
Oh boy.
Well, unless you're interested in the field of science and discovery.
He kind of gestures with his hand as if he's kind of angling it from side to side as if he's like weighing scales. Is that you have me 50-50? Although I must admit I do prefer the sciences for their more practical value.
Though that photo of the black hole last year was certainly amazing.
Impressive, yes.
Yes, I did just fucking pull that.
Yeah.
Did you say black hole? What is that? I didn't have a picture of it.
From what I've been told, it's some sort of spatial anomaly that light cannot escape. Would be quite useful for our kind, I suppose. Although I do hear it would suck in the planet Earth, so there's that.
Indeed, I wouldn't like to get stuck in one of those.
And Kate's jaw is just gonna drop. How did they take a photograph in space?
Through great effort and calculation.
And satellites. I think about 5, 10 of them.
What?
Satellites? I don't know.
Very dedicated minds. Almost as dedicated as the performance that we were just witnessing.
If you say so.
Certainly not as enrapturing.
Well, it depends how close you get.
Well, I'd be sucked in, I wouldn't be enraptured.
I don't think you'd have a choice.
I wouldn't have a choice in being sucked in, but I wouldn't be enraptured. In fact, I'd be quite disturbed.
And
That's
Kate just
fair.
looks so confused. So confused.
As what you mentioned about the Earth being sucked in, I think that would be horrible. I dislike the idea of the entire Kindred and Kind society being pressed into the size of a sugar cube. That's a little too close for comforts for my liking.
The conversation is taking a point where Alexander can no longer attach any reason to this. It goes too fast, too modern, and he's just going to comment on something entirely different than this shit. Maybe a nice dress, I don't know. Anything but sugar cubes.
That is a very lovely dress.
But not as lovely as the dance, I do agree.
Certainly, little could compare.
That is one for history, I think. I would go so far as to consider it a gift from Plantorial to Dublin. Honestly would say that.
You may want to check with Sketcher to see if he caught a still shot of it.
Ooh, good point.
I intend to find him this evening and see if he managed to capture the moment adequately.
Though if he was as tranced as the rest of us, I doubt he would have gotten anything down, which would be a terrible shame.
And this is, I would say, this is quite the test of his abilities. To capture that performance in a still image will be an immense task.
He is very quickly, though.
He does have that advantage.
Yeah.
Of all people here, he has a chance.
Yep, indeed. You are right. I would consider showcasing that, if only just for my personal amusement.
If I may have a brief moment, I believe I have to find one of our own. And Francis will get up and we'll go looking for Katrina. Katrina!
Katrina's outside wandering the gardens. She's got her heels off. She's got them in her hand. She's barefoot.
My, too stuffy for you.
Just a little bit. I saw the giant ball brought in and began to ripple, so I was like, this can't be good, and I decided to leave.
You missed my grandsire giving the performance of a lifetime. Well, a millennium.
I'm sure I'll catch a photo of it.
Francis actually looks uncharacteristically serious. Like, you haven't seen him in this sort of... Like, he's struggling to emphasize something. No, you don't understand. You will never capture that moment. I just wish you'd been there. I would have introduced you to him.
That's quite alright. It's not necessary.
Okay, what's the matter?
Nothing. I had a few drinks after dancing with Alexander, or she's not gonna say Alexander, she's gonna say the mirrored gentleman. I had a few drinks after dancing with him, and then I came back for a bit and talked to people. I saw the ball begin to come up and ripple, and I was like, nope, I'm out, so I dipped. Got a little crowded for me anyways.
You seem very dour, is all.
Very what?
Very dour.
I don't know what that word you said is, I'm sorry.
Basically means down in the dumps.
What he is, or?
No, Katrina.
Not at all, I fear I may have hyped up the occasion a little more than it deserved. While everything is absolutely beautiful.
To be honest, if you'd been in the ball at that moment, it would have... You would have seen that it was worth it. I'll see if I can find you a video recording after the dance, and you'll know.
What, did two people use presents and make everyone fall in love? She's like slightly joking. She doesn't think this actually happened. She doesn't think they actually used presents, but I mean, it was told that they did.
Francis actually looks, and as such, the recording cannot even do it justice. He actually seems quite frustrated that you missed this dance. Next time, stick around, because you're not going to see that for at least another 300 years.
All right. It was a dance.
No, it was the dance.
All right. I'm sorry I missed.
Hey, I witnessed it. I'm just sorry that you didn't. But that's irrelevant. Let's do a bit of dancing ourselves, shall we?
All right.
I apologize. I was taken up by the hostess earlier, but
She seemed to make her way around.
yes, very much so. But yes, he'll take her hand, and we'll take her upon the dance floor again. Evan, Francis and Katrina were having a very toreador argument about how Francis was very salty that Katrina missed the dance. She missed the dance, Evan.
I mean, Toreador gonna Toreador you.
She missed the dance.
feel the rage.
God, Francis is like, how will you not understand how important this is? This is like a once in a 3 centuries thing. You do not see these.
You don't know. You're 230. You don't know if it actually covers 3 centuries yet.
No, as far as Francis is concerned, he got this gift early. This is an early, like, elderly present.
But you can only say that you can only see this ever 230 years, not before. Never mind.
It was because he was such a good guy that he received it like seven decades early. Yeah, all that kind of Toreador extra credit builds up, you know. Francis re-enters the club with Katrina. They're probably going to dance for a little bit before making their way back to the group.
I'm guessing Katrina has her shoes back on at this point.
Oh yeah, he'll let you do all that stuff. You know, he's not like dragging you in.
Too bad.
That's not even inaccurate. Yeah.
Perhaps, Monsieur Belmont, you will allow me to have the lady for a dance.
It's not Belmont, Evan. Stop it.
What?
You're killing me inside of all these elder NPCs calling me Belmont. Every time that happens, Francis just loses a willpower.
Like you don't really have enough willpower for all the elders he has.
No, Francis. Yeah, as they're dancing, Francis turns and he sees. Well, I mean, this space claim already has a Venetian mask. Fortunately,
I know, right? I couldn't have a party and not have the guy who actually has a mask in his face plate show up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is kind of
Out of character, who is this?
You've met him.
I can't remember.
He's the Don of the Giovanni.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna keep my distance.
Why?
Don't ask. It includes a Malkavian.
What was his name? What was the Giovanni's name again?
Florence Medici. Florin.
Okay.
But yes, no, Francis will go, if the dear lady would. He kind of, Francis goes, with recognition. Rather delighted recognition. And kind of turns to Katrina. Would a dear lady care to gift the good Dom with a dance?
Fate would have it that we have different partners.
Francis actually looks rather amused at that statement.
So you are turning down the Giovanni's request for a dance?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's gonna accept the dance.
You're going to accept the dance or you're going to snub it? Which?
She's going to accept the dance from the Giovanni dude.
Alright. He wraps one arm around your waist. Oh, Nelly, there's a lot of potence in there.
A lot of what?
Potence. Strength.
You feel like you're a bit of a featherweight to him.
Oh, okay.
But the two of you will begin to spin around the dance floor, and he will lean in and he'll say, I couldn't help but notice that you stormed out of here when it was certain individuals arrived.
She's gonna respond to him. I mean, she's talking low enough that others can hear, but he's able to hear, which I'm guessing is a very difficult volume in such a place.
Not really. You're on the middle of the dance floor. You can pretty much talk normally, and he can hear you.
Oh, okay. I just needed some air. There was no storming.
Are you lying to him?
No, because she didn't storm out. She didn't actually storm out. She slipped away.
Okay, that's entirely fair. He'll smile, and he will say, "Oh, let's see. Then may I ask why it is you're so upset, my dear?"
While the evening's events are magnificent, they are a bit different than the idea I had in mind. That's all.
Ah, yes, and what was the idea you had in mind? Perhaps you and the boy that has come to steal your heart, sitting and sipping vitae whilst you watch the dawn.
Not exactly.
Oh.
Wait, how did you know that?
I didn't until you just confirmed it.
Classic trap.
Ah, boom. Fucking Giovanni.
Classic trap. Beautiful.
That was pretty elegant. I appreciate that.
Now see, Katrina has blush of help, so she will actually redden.
How long have you been in love with the sheriff, then?
I haven't been.
Oh.
Wrong target.
I've just had slight difficulty finding my place in such a clan.
Why?
The concept of polyamory is still foreign to me.
Who said that your clan needed to be polyamorous?
It seems that way.
Some of the greatest love stories I kind of ever produced have been a toreador who loved one individual and one individual alone. If they've told you that is the truth, then I assure you, my dear, they are simply lying.
I think I'd have to agree.
If you ever wish anything done to clear your heart, as it were, as the dance ends, he will flick a business card into your hand. I'm always happy to accept petitions from the broken-hearted.
Out of character, is he suggesting he's gonna kill somebody?
He never said that.
I'm saying, is this suggesting out of character? I'm asking.
Oh yeah, he'll fucking kill someone if you pay him. Straight up have them killed.
I'm fucking done right now.
She's going to just tuck the business. I'm done. She's gonna just tuck the business card, I guess, into a strap somewhere on her person. Because they're strapped, her lingerie under the dress has straps all over it, so she can tuck the business card somewhere there. And she's gonna just whisper to him, she's like, I don't think the mafia is necessary for this. And she's joking, kind of, like he hears like a lilt in her voice. But
he will lean in and he will kiss the top. Basically, he kisses her cheek, and he whispers in your ear, "I never said I never said the mafia would be involved." And as you do so, you feel a weird sense of cold surround you.
yeah, because he has touch of cold. He has cold hands. Doesn't he touch of frost?
No, that's not the reason. You feel an odd, unearthly chill go through you. Almost like when you're standing in the middle of the dance floor, you're not alone. You feel as if there were other pairs of eyes burning into you. But he will kiss her hand, and he will depart. As he leaves, you feel the other presences leave with him.
As long as they left. She's gonna quickly run to the nearest trash can and throw that business card away. Unseen by him.
Oh.
Or so you think.
So much
No,
go on.
unseen by him. She will have like a piece of napkin or something, fold the business card in it, and just like pass by a trash can and drop it.
That's fine. You misunderstand what I mean when I said the Giovanni are expert necromancers. What you were feeling was the presence of a number of wraiths.
Son of a bitch.
Try being unseen now.
So what will actually happen is tomorrow, when you wake up, you will find another business card sitting on your nightside table.
Yes, that's the best. Excellent. Well, Francis will obviously see her run out the fucking building after that dance.
She didn't run out the building. She went to a trash can. And she's gonna go and get another fucking wine glass of blood, because, I mean, that's some heavy shit.
There's nothing to throw away.
There was a business card.
Yeah, he's like, what are you doing? Francis will head over to you and
And she didn't run out. Not this time. Shut up.
Francis will head over to Katrina and will say, "You look rather flustered. I surely hope the Don hasn't stolen your heart."
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, your soul, they can do that too.
What now?
Never mind.
No, what did you say? I can't hear you.
Oh, well, too bad. That's mean.
No, like, honestly, I have hearing aid. What did you say?
Francis said, or your soul, they can do that too. But you just seem to be rather filled with purpose after your dance, shall we say.
I'm not sure I understand what you're referring to. It was a dance.
I hate how difficult you are sometimes. Francis just closes his eyes and he says, "What I mean is that you looked flustered, wandered over to a trash can, and tossed something inside for no real reason."
So, he gave me contact information that I didn't want. I threw it away.
Giovanni make fantastic contacts. Actually bound by an ancient treaty with us not to mess with us. And us them. Actually, a pretty good thing we have going.
Do you want the business card?
Well, I already have his contact information. We've done business before.
Then we're good.
May I make my way back over to you and tell you that I would like to continue our conversation?
To who?
To Francis.
Ah! My Lady of Illusions.
Pleasure's all mine.
Yes. Where were we? And then he'll gesture to Katrina. You're also not getting out of this, by the way. But I believe. Oh, we were discussing the past.
Yes, we were.
You met. Who, if I may ask, are you blood siblings or whose side who?
He sired me.
Oh,
He is not. He is not my brother. My brother is long since gone.
my condolences. It's very interesting. Hmm. He kind of muses in that for a brief moment.
Fate has not been kind to us.
Sorry, not been.
Kind to us.
No. I must say that your clan has found itself in a rather dire predicament.
Apparently so.
Have not. You are the first of your clan I've met in about 20, coming up 22 years. And to be honest, after about a decade or so, I was half convinced you'd been extinguished. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that is not the case.
Yes, well, when you're buried 30 feet under the ground, then, well, you're saved from such a week of nightmares.
Were you... I won't cry. I won't lie. I am extraordinarily curious. But I have a feeling that may be treading on sensitive ground, if I'm not mistaken.
Only slightly. I'm just still shell-shocked.
Fair, given what I saw 2 decades or so ago, and I can only imagine what was going through the minds of those afflicted. But I am glad to see that, if nothing else, while fate has not been kind, it has at least been merciful enough to keep you together with your sire, although I have a feeling you may disagree.
Sometimes I agree, and sometimes I don't.
One of those nights.
Indeed.
Apologies. Really couldn't be a worse night for it. But I've been very selfish. I have not told you anything about myself. It's almost as if I've been doing it on purpose.
Well, I would say rather this is a difficult place to tell anyone anything about themselves.
It's very true, we're all wearing masks. Tonight we are not ourselves, yet we are also ourselves.
Indeed.
Still, funnily enough, despite my lineage, I am not a Parisian Toreador.
I haven't had many dealings with Toreador in my time.
Well, I'd like to think we're very easy to get along with.
I do. It does seem so, yes.
Of course, every client has bad eggs, but I think when it comes to matters of diplomacy and simple matters of companionship and friendship, we tend to have far fewer than most that are so negatively inclined. But I'm glad that you've had good dealings with my clan, and I hope that we can have similar dealings, if not a mutually beneficial friendship.
Indeed.
I'm happy to see that members of Clan Ravnos have survived. Do you know if any others have? I mean, I'm sure you're much more interested in such information than myself, and you've most likely tried, but I'm curious.
I have not heard of anyone other than me and Tommy.
Ooh, I'm going to have a hell of a time then.
It seems so.
Hmm. So, are you acting as independents or as members of the Ivory Tower?
I mean, we've been incapacitated for the past 100 years, so I would say neither.
Like, it can't be neither. You're either a member of the Ivory Tower or you're not. It's fairly cut and dry, to be honest. I mean, we're quite happy to have you, but if you'd rather not, I mean, that's fair as well. The prince has accepted you within the city. I was just curious, as I can't recall whether or not it was mentioned in your introduction to the prince.
It was briefly suggested, but we're still not sure exactly who is who and what is what, and we don't know up from down currently, so.
It's true. So how long have you been incapacitated? Have you just woken up? How many years?
Well, the attack on us and our coterie was, I'd say, about 1922, maybe? It's hard to pinpoint an exact date.
Ooh, post-war. Prohibition.
Indeed. And it seems that time has come and gone.
Oh, yeah, it's only lasted about 13 years. It turns out mortals very much like their alcohol.
As did I at one point.
Oh, I still do. It's a trick you can learn if you give yourself the time.
I'd be quite interested in that.
Maybe sometime I can teach you.
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Although some of us have an easier time with it than others, and there are those among us who just seem to lack the capacity. It's a very inconsistent affair, but we'll see.
I do delight myself in pleasures of the heart.
Oh, likewise. But then again, given my clan, I suppose that is obvious.
Quite.
May I introduce you to my county? Of course, it is forbidden to give names, but...
Of course.
He gestures towards Katrina.
I'm just gonna hold out my hand. How do you do?
Good, and yourself? I believe we met earlier.
Yes, I believe we did. This is quite a pleasant evening. I'm enjoying myself.
Good.
It's been quite a long time since I've gotten to dance.
So I heard. That must have been horrible for you.
Indeed, indeed.
I'm glad when you made it out. I assume you woke up after the week of nightmares.
Oh, yes, it's actually only been a few months.
Oh. Well, there is a lot of catching up to do. I'm not the best person for it, but... well... something happened. And there were some very strange things that occurred over the course of a week. A red star appeared in the sky. Mortals discovered it a few months later. It's very eerie and spooky. It's about to think it's some sort of oncoming sign of the apocalypse. And then your clan decided to embrace the apocalypse and went insane. I can't really tell what caused it. I was in Greece at the time. It was bizarre though. Members of your clan seemed to enter this strange, permanent, week-long state of hunger frenzy. It caused enormous issues across the world in regards to the masquerade, and many blood hunts were called upon members of your clan as a result. But I have a feeling it was not necessarily within their control.
I've heard the stories in the few months. I've heard quite a lot.
That was one of the first in the city of Athens, or in the domain of Athens, to spot the signs that were causing the week of nightmares. Not to brag, actually, far from it. It's due to the one of the clan gifts gave us the capacity to see further or before other clans, in particular the Red Star. I'm curious if maybe that's what caused your clan's state, but then why would it not affect our clans? I must admit, I'm not an occultist, and I'm very much ruining the mood by talking about how your clan almost destroyed itself. So I shall move on forward. I am glad you survived, and I'm glad you're back up. And yes, modern technology. It has advanced. A lot of it you'll find familiar.
I
Many
don't
of the,
think that is something that I can ever wrap myself around and understand. Things have just changed so entirely too much in that regard.
The classics suit some people more than others.
The mortals actually have a theory for it. That technology increases on something of a he actually gestures with it. It increases on a curve like this, and the more advanced technology gets, the faster it will advance. I can't quite remember the name for the theory, but I'm far more inclined towards the practical nature of technology. I generally, my main focus is actually in regards to its more militant applications due to my position as sheriff. Still love the old classic six barrel though. I'd say not 6 barrel, 6 chamber, he'll say.
Ah, I understand.
Yes, you'll still find some of the classics running about. Although, actually, word of warning, mortals have found a way to render the projectiles quite flammable once again. So someone's...
Why am I not surprised?
Quite useful in regards to my possession. Evens the playing field substantially, but yes, is perhaps something you should know, given the state the city is in. We have several bad actors, anarchs with such weapons, so I perhaps wouldn't antagonize them. They may try to burn you to a crisp, as it were.
I'm here to for those of you in the section of the room, you'll once again spy if an altercation at the other side of the room.
Jesus Christ.
You will see the same
Oh my God, let him speak.
You will see the same Toreador who basically had in some way offended the prince, mouth off to the Giovanni, at which point the Giovanni punches him so hard in the face it shatters his mask and sends him reeling backwards onto the ground.
Ooh.
Francis looks and he bridges because the mask covers the bridge of the nose, so he actually his fingers rub the lines of the mask. out of character, I'm half tempted to go over there and smash him in the face myself. Francis looks peeved, to say the least. What is that clown doing? No. Honest to God, will my work never end? As I was saying, the city's in quite a state. People like that add to it. That is what not to be. You have a wonderful example right there of how not to act, and I'm very proud you're not acting in such a fashion after being only awake for a few months. That is a higher standard than what is being said this evening by some individuals. My apologies for the outburst.
Perhaps it may be an idea to have him escorted out of the venue.
I believe I'm going to approach the hostess and suggest that, to be honest. I'll see if I can find her.
At this point, I would rather suggest he been taken out and we learned a lesson into decorum and behavior, since the first time he didn't learn his lesson quite as well.
Oh yes, he is going to get much more than a mouthful from me. You can rest assured.
I have no doubt. Good luck.
I believe I'm going to need it. Nothing after the prince and now the Giovanni. It's like the fool is looking to make enemies.
I am very much glad that you all are in agreement. I was starting to worry that we were doing something wrong here.
No, I do believe that you're correct in assuming this man is a walking faux pas.
Well, if there is one gift he has granted to us, is that we all look better in contrast.
Indeed.
I was going to say, and I thought my clan was bad.
Oh, one's actions should never be judged upon an entire clan.
I was going to say.
I wasn't judging the clan. I was merely judging my clan's reputation against,
like I said,
this fella.
If you become older and older, you understand that people do stupid actions. Clans rarely do. Groups in clans might, but entire clans?
That's fair.
Yes, but I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can find the hostess and have this gentleman taken to one side at the very least. My apologies for leaving you all once more, but, well, I trust that none of you are going to act as that one did.
Hope not.
Oh, no, it would be terrible, tragic.
A lady would never.
Brother, I wouldn't. Honestly, just annoying. That is the worst part about all of this. It's just annoying.
It's a perfect waste of a very good evening, don't you think?
Exactly. He's just being a nuisance and souring an otherwise fantastic evening.
Just when you approach him, think of the beautiful dance. I'm sure you'll keep your calm in front of others like the Giovanni.
On a side note, legit question, how angry is Francis? Because he seems pretty angry.
He's pretty angry. He's not at frenzy levels. He's just, if he was personally involved in the altercation, he definitely would need to roll. But because he's just witness to it, he's just like this guy. He's just kind of annoyed that he's annoyed at the fact that it is just an annoyance as well. It's like a niggling flaw in an otherwise perfect evening for him. So it's like, it's actually worse that it's not that significant. because having this like perfectly clean, like beautiful dress, and then just a tiny black spot on it. It's like this dress would be perfect if there wasn't this tiny black spot on it. If it was big, at least it would be like noticeable, and it would like you can just like cast it away and just say, oh, wipe this evening from the record. But
Well, this
no.
this gentleman keeps making more black spots on your beautiful dress.
Yeah, so Francis is gonna find the hostess.
There we go. She's very much not hard to find.
Yeah. One second as I find an appropriate adjective through Google Dictionary.
To intercede, may I know with my small knowledge, how can you describe the hostess other than the picture, because pictures are so tricky?
Yes, she stands about 5'10". She has a very regal bearing. For your purposes, she is appearance 5. She is incredibly beautiful, but also incredibly authoritative. She's one of those people who, if she said to jump, you would say, "Yes, mistress. How high, mistress?"
Right.
She wears her dress. Her dress is pretty interesting, actually, because as you look around, her dress has a corset, but it's not an ordinary corset. You see, as she turns around, dozens of needles that pierce through the skin of her back.
Mm-hmm.
That create the corset effect.
Yeah.
But it's otherwise exquisitely made. The mask itself is made of black polished stone with inlaid gold and golden jewels, and everything about her is elegant.
Right. Well, yeah. My mask, although it looks metal, is not metal. It's sterling.
Nice.
Yes, as she approaches and our sheriff takes his time, Rothschild will approach her and compliment her on the beautiful dance that was most impressive.
Thank you. It has been in the planning for some time.
It was noticeable.
Statements oftentimes need to be made in spectacle and splendor. I'm sure you'll agree.
You absolutely deserve the attention and splendor and light upon yourself, as this beautiful evening is by your design, I do believe.
Indeed.
As a
She
fellow
smiled.
designer. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, she smiles as Francis is approaching her, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Smile.
As a fellow designer, I do appreciate the finer intricacies in something such as what you have shown.
I am pleased.
I hoped I could talk to more people of your particular bloodline, because currently there is a new building being risen high above the basic standards of Dublin to be erect as a museum of modern arts, where I would have our new Elysium within, where I would like to have certain pictures and portraits hanging of those who are appreciative of the bloodline of our current prince and the more elaborate and people with more status within our city. I was wondering if there would be a place for yourself and your guests tonight.
In what manner?
In the matter of a portrait, of a painting perhaps, of if I could only find a still of the dance she did to hold the beautiful memory that is still etched within my, and I believe many minds.
It can be produced if you wish. I will even paint it myself.
If you wish, then I would make sure that it gets a prestigious place within the halls of the Elysium itself.
I'm glad.
You bless us with your presence, ma'am.
But Francis, you will approach. Hey, Francis.
My lady, you are breathtaking.
Thank you, Francis.
I was going to ask, actually, I know it would not do the scene justice, if I'd be able to procure a recording and a still image from the artist who has gone around this evening capturing various highlights of this evening.
Monsieur Sketcher.
Yes, it was truly awe-inspiring. I don't think I'm going to see a performance like that for, well, I believe I was gifted it early. I don't believe I'm going to see another performance like that for the next 3 centuries. And my county missed it. She missed it. There's actually something else. I am so sorry for blemishing an otherwise perfect evening, but there is a figure who has gone around causing altercations. First the prince, now the Giovanni. I was only going to suggest that maybe it would be wise to have him escorted out before he causes a third and perhaps potentially fatal incident for himself or somebody else.
Absolutely. I will be more than happy to speak some words to him. But I look forward to speaking to you properly, more so than anything.
Francis smiles very widely and says, "I feel very much the same."
All right, kids. There will be the third set piece of this scene, which will also be bringing the scene to a close, which will be happening in about 10 minutes. So feel free to wrap up conversations and dialogue because I need to kind of get this to a closing point.
Yes.
So feel free to wrap things up. I will go do my last thing that I have to do in the other hangout, then it is going to go up. And yeah, we'll go from there. Cool?
Cool. Francis will turn to who he now understands to be the keeper. One. Glad to see that you have been able to make so many fine friends this evening, Keeper. I understand that the start to this evening was a little bit slow.
It has been a while since I find myself in a establishment such as this, listening to sounds such as those. But I make do.
As do we all. Well, in any case, I'm very happy. And it looks like Thorns will be remaining for the foreseeable future, so...
I do believe, my sheriff, that in the current situation as our city lies, these events shall be more scarce, I'm afraid.
Yes, well, that is perfectly understandable. This event is obviously quite special.
It is
Something. It
But
is.
I do believe it is made special by our host. She has a wonderful way of drawing attention and still feel impressed after.
She is. Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
I only wish that I could spend more time observing her mask. It seems made of some certain amount of stone, maybe onyx or alabaster. I don't know.
Hmm. It's as if every aspect of her form was tailored to perfection. I can only respect the amount of dedication and talent.
Aye. I was hoping to use it as inspiration for the insider designs of the museum, as well as the mindset that I might want to use when we design the insides of the Elysium itself. I have to draw like most artists in your clan from experiences you see, and women such as that just
Okay.
simply crave the experience.
Yeah, what's going to happen is the people, because most of the people from the other hangout have left due to it getting late. So what remains of them is just going to come in here, and then I'm going to close out the session here.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
Continue.
Yes, you know, I shall send the hostess photocards. I'm sure she'll be very flattered by those statements. But yes, I look forward to your upcoming Elysiums. Of course, I must say, this affair does cast quite a shadow, but if nothing else, I'm sure we'll endeavour to overcome it.
At
Well,
this
Very
point,
much look forward.
guys, the lights will dim again, and the hostess will walk back up to the pulpit where she announced the festivities to you all this evening. She opens her arms very wide and she says, "Ladies and gentlemen, Madame de Monsieur, meine Damen und mein Herren, tonight we have drank the sacrament that is life, even though many of us, our hearts no longer beat. We have enjoyed the breath of others whom can yet draw it. We have savored the sweet excess that is their lives, drop by crimson drop. And so it is, my friends, that I give this place a name suitable for the purposes. From now on, this building shall simply be called Revelry. And under its roof, in my home, you are all my honored guests. Now drink as the night draws on, for soon the dawn will break, and then many more nights await us all." She raises a goblet filled with crimson liquid that sloshes over the side. "To the eternal night, the night unending." Everyone in the room will mirror her image as she does so, and they exult, they scream, they sing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we shall end our scene. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.